Hey there, how you doing today? It's me, Jodianne, your favorite little witch and tarot slinger extraordinaire. How are you doing? It's really sunny today when I'm recording this. Unusually sunny here in Vancouver for the winter, and crisp and really frosty today. I'm on my second cup of coffee on this beautiful morning. What are you doing? Whatever it is you're doing while you listen, and I'm really grateful that you decided to spend some time here in the Earbud Coven. Today's a bit of I'm not exactly sure what I want to say today. I don't have a real topic, but there's something that's been coming up a lot. So I don't usually get political or talk about current events too much on the podcast. I am Canadian. I live in this nice little bubble on the West Coast, and I don't watch a lot of TV or listen to a lot of news, but current affairs do get into my space, and I know a little bit about what's going on in the world. And a couple days ago, it was just after the Cheeto man took control of the office down in the States, and I was driving into work on my way to my muggle job, flipping through the radio, and the CBC was covering some of the protests that were happening. I think this was the day after the inauguration or whatever. So they were talking to the different people at this rally, and a few things really stood out. There was this one voice, and you could tell from the texture of her voice that she was an older woman, so I would put her in the category of a beautiful, wise crone. And you could tell she had that spirit in her that was she must have been a protester before. She was a warrior of a woman. She had wisdom and age in her voice. And what she was saying was just so touching to me. Just how we need to take a stand, how we need to voice what we want to do. And she was talking about all the people there and how we need to come together and work together and rise up together. And they interviewed different people who said they were, this one girl, she was marching for her parents because she was allowed in the US and her parents weren't because of immigration rules and all that stuff. And there was just so much flame and fire inside these people and so much passion in their protest. And they were peacefully protesting. They were marching and stuff. And I could feel the energy crackling. It was a recording of what had happened the day before. And here it is the next morning on my radio. And you could feel the power. You could feel the energy of a group of people coming together for a cause. And that's, I think, what I want to talk about. It's a roundabout way to get there. But when we come together in community, it is so, so powerful. And I really think that's a piece of what's missing in the world is the sense of community. And I know we're connected here, you and me, through the airwaves, through recording, through technology. But it's not the same as if you were sitting here in my living room with me. It's close. And we can connect through space and time because of our technology. But really coming together with people is such an important part of magic and such an important part of our spirituality and our journey, right? When we come together, we multiply our energy. We don't just add it. And I've said this a million times. I feel I've said it in so many teachings and development circles, but when you and I cast a circle together, I'm multiplying my energy to the exponent of your energy. It comes together and accentuates and catalyzes and powers up what you're doing. And I know a lot of us are solo practitioners, right? Like I know a lot of us do our own work and our manifestation work. And I think this is a little piece that is part of what's happening in our culture. We're kind of like always connected, but like never together with people. So what I'm trying to say is that right now we have more people on a spiritual path than ever before. There's this huge awakening of people coming to spirituality, defining spirituality, and coming to like old practices of being grounded and centered, and this idea of getting into our chakras and getting into our spirituality and connecting with our spirit guides and our highest self. The things that used to be quite hidden in our culture and very occult and hard to learn are now out in our beautiful internet for everyone. And it's this huge, cool thing. We've got witch talk and we've got all these different, hashtag witch vibes on Instagram. We've got all these ways, including podcasts like my own, bringing you information. But we're not really bringing you the same kind of community that we would traditionally be teaching in, right? There's so much information out there, but there isn't a lot of one-on-one guidance and one-on-one teaching or even circle teachings where you're coming together in community regularly. So what we have is all these beautiful people on our individual, isolated spiritual paths. And I come to this as someone who was a solo practitioner and has been a solo practitioner for most of my witchy life. I've actually been fortunate enough to be in a number of teaching covens. They would have their little life cycle and we'd be together for a couple of years. And a lot of the people in my teaching covens, I'm still in touch with now and they're dear, close, beautiful friends of mine, but we're not coming together under every moon. I feel like that bit of community is really missing. So how can we build that? How can each of us in our daily life bring the community? I don't know if I have the answer to that, because as I sit here talking to you, I think about the witchy groups I'm involved in. Now, one of them, we've made a pact that we're all going to go out for dinner once a month just for enjoyment and love and community and bringing together, because we all talk and message back and forth and support each other. And we want to do that on a more regular basis. And that's super amazing. And I love that. I love being able to come together with spiritual women and share and laugh. But we're not doing magic. We're not doing manifestation work together. Each one of us is doing our individual stuff. Then the other coven I'm a part of, again, we haven't met and had a coven gathering for way too long. I'm thinking about it as I sit here. And although we've come together, we've camped together, we've gathered together, we've had tea together, we haven't done our spell work together. And it's interesting because the last time the three of us gathered under the full moon and we did our release work, it massively shifted each one of our lives. So I know we even hesitate sometimes to come together because when the three of us gather, the earth moves, things move. So yeah. These are my thoughts. How do we build community in this super connected space we're in? How do we come together? And it's kind of that double blessing of technology. Because of it, I can connect with you here. So I don't know if you guys know, but I think I've mentioned it. I am looking at what I want to teach in my teaching spaces in 2025. Some of what I want to teach is going to be containers through Zoom that we can come together. The other stuff I'm going to teach, I want to find a way to make it in person. And I don't know yet how I'm going to do that and how that's going to unfold and manifest. But as I sit here thinking about that radio station broadcast and the crackling energy that could be felt through my radio in the morning, I think I do want to do some real outdoor gatherings with you guys. I'll think about it. I don't know if I'll keep that in the podcast. I think that's quite a little brain ramble there, little rabbit hole. One of the ways I've seen people come together, solo practitioners come together through space and time, actually does relate to Trump. And it was during his first stint in office. There was a spell put out on the internet, and I think it was almost like a tongue-in-cheek joke by a witch, and they had created a binding spell. And so what was proposed through this group, I think it was through a Facebook group, they started it, and it was a Bind Trump Facebook group. I don't know if it's still active, but if it is, I'm going to link it in the show notes, or just get on your phone, my love, and Google it while we listen. So they put out a spell, and they encouraged practitioners, covens, solo practitioners, anyone who wanted to, every single moon to cast the spell at the same time. So the time was posted, and the spell was posted, and witches all over the globe were doing this spell at the same time. And it's really interesting that there seem to have been correlations between things in the news cycle and when this spell would have been cast. And then when he was out of office, another one popped up at the beginning of the Ukraine war, and it was directed at Putin. So I think that's an interesting idea too, like how we can use our technology and come together. If we're connected through our technology, could we connect and do spell work at the same time at different places? And I think that would even be like a really fun experiment. And maybe we can do that as a coven, because we've hosted online manifestation circles, right? I know last year I was hosting new moon manifestation circles. They were free circles and everyone could dial in on Zoom. I wonder though, what kind of results we can get if we just were doing them at the same time in our own spaces, right? Or if we set up a window where we could all do the same spell work or the same manifestation work. And I think maybe we'll think about that. Maybe that's something I'm going to put in the newsletter. I think it would be an interesting experiment. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. Let me know if you would be interested in doing collective spell work from our own homes. Same time, same spell, and we could do it collectively together. Maybe we could pick a theme, kind of like for February, we could pick a theme about self-love, or in the spring, we could pick a theme around initiation, or the beginnings, or planting seeds. Maybe that would be something we could do. What do you think, Coven? I think it'd be fun. I think I've made the decision, actually, as I sit here with you guys. And maybe that's what we'll start doing. Maybe I'll put an extra kind of download in the feed or in the newsletter. Let me think about that, okay? I think we're going to do this, okay? I think we are going to do this. And I think we're going to start it, maybe we'll do it in February. Maybe we'll do a new moon love manifestation spell. What do you think? Yeah, I'll make it super simple. Because I feel like 2025, like a lot has shifted, and I feel the podcast energy shifting, and I feel my energy shifting, and all the people I know. I think this episode has turned into a bit of a brainstorming session. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it, my beautiful coven. Thank you for lending me your energy through this space and time and coming together with me so that I could work this new plan out. Stay tuned, because I think that's what we're going to do. I'll talk about it in the February newsletter. If you're not on the mailing list yet, please go to the website, jodiannpsychicmedium.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I'm not going to spam you, my love. It's a one email every month. It's a little love letter that'll show up. It'll show up during the first week of the month. High consent, low volume newsletter. And I respect your inbox. So I will send out occasionally. I do mark it, but I always send out a consent letter, and you can opt out of any marketing I do without affecting your subscription to my love letter. Yeah. And February's is going to include a manifestation spell, a self-love manifestation spell that we can do together. Okay. I think that's all I have, Coven. Thank you again for listening. I hope you made it to the end of this rambly episode. I'm working on some really good interviews I'm really excited to put out. They'll be coming out soon. And I have a new theme that I'm going to do for this year. I've been recording a lot over the past couple weeks. And yeah, and now I'm going to start dropping things like they're hot. Okay, that was goofy. Maybe I'll cut that out. Anyway, take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of this very beautiful day. I don't know if I want to say that. Just think for a minute, Jode. And my impression is that the way things are being taught, where we can manifest and use intention, the way it's taught right now, it misses the piece of how do I say this? Okay, how do I say this? Just talk, don't just ramble. Another rabbit hole. Okay. I remembered what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so it was organized. Okay.